dealt with fame, we've flexed, we've been through soundscapes, but there's still more of the project to go. What more could there be to talk about? Welcome to Jouska, the making and meaning behind the project by KTheChosen. Mama was a song where I really got to get into my conscious K bag and look at the important social issues that I hold dear to my heart and things that I'm trying to make a difference in the world around me. And I think each verse talks about different aspects of my life where I'm involved in that, or different aspects where those things have affected me and how I try to tackle them in my music. This song is also super important because, first of all, the title is in Shona, which I thought was super cool, but it's also easy to read globally because it reads as mama, which is the word for mom in most languages. And that was kind of the cool thing about the hook on the song, to be honest, because Mahaters Awanda Mazuwa Ano translates to there's a lot of haters around here, or there's a lot of haters outside, or there's a lot of haters these days. And the whole premise of the song is trying to be true to yourself and not do things to make people to stop people from hating on you, not trying to please everyone, because there's always going to be haters no matter what you do. And for me, that was an important message to have, because I feel sometimes as an artist, you have so many platforms and so much influence, but you kind of feel like you have to represent everybody. But if those aren't your root causes, if those aren't things that are actually important to you, you end up kind of drawing yourself thin because you're trying to help everybody, but you're not really sticking true to yourself, which again ties into that idea of doing anything to get famous, doing anything to become popular with your audience. And I think it was also cool because usually when things go wrong, I don't know about other people, but I tend to talk to my mom about it. So the fact that it spelled out mama was awesome too, because it's like, Mom, I'm tired, man. All these people, oh man, I can't deal with them anymore. So it kind of had that double meaning. And I think it makes it also seem more sincere, because you're not just complaining to the world, you're complaining to your mom, someone you like a confidant, someone who you feel you can be honest with. And not only that, but just, so first of all, we've got the title is Shona, which is language native to Zimbabwe. But the hook was sung by a Zimbabwean singer. Thank you to Joanne Jackson. She's amazing. Do check out her music. The intro was done by a popular, I don't know what you call it, like an Instagram comedian. He does a lot of crazy skits. He's just got onto YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to his channel. And he's a dear friend of mine. He goes by the name of Mazoepapi, and he's really cool. So I had a great time working with him. He sent me a lot of material. I picked 2 skits that he had sent me to use in the project. So they were in this one and in 263 to 403, because that's another song that has more vernacular language. And then the beat itself was also produced by Zimbabwe. So like, this is Zimbabwe written all over this, which I think was cool, because I was able to represent my country a bit more in this song. So without further ado, let's get into the meaning behind the verses and what some of the lyrics meant.
Who we had and not you. Who we had and not you. Who we had and not you. Cause it's all that we do. Who we had and not you. Who we had and not you. Who we had and not you. Cause it's all that we.
So for a lot of people who don't understand Shona, I'll break down the opening. And literally what he's just saying is that, look, this kid, I've known him for a while, I raised him myself on my own, but I'm the one who taught him how to rap, to hold a mic, everything. But these days he's acting like he's huge, like he's amazing. He's like, I'm from the 6, I'm running through the 6 with my woes. Woes, what are woes? I've never heard of the word woes. So this is him just joking about the fact that I'm because we grew up in Canada together, because we grew up in Zimbabwe together, it's crazy that now I'm in Canada, and now that I'm in Canada, I've become this guy who thinks I'm like Drake, running through the 6 with my woes. So it's like him joking about it, but I think it was also important because the whole concept of the song is the idea of haters. And that's what sometimes people do. When you blow up or become successful, first of all, they claim you. So they're like, yo, I taught you everything you know. but they'll also then say, no, but this person's changed. You know, they think that they're all that, and now they're claiming to run with different crews or claiming a different set when they know they're from here. So I thought that was a very important way to open up the project or open up the song, so that that's the context behind, you know, the idea of hate that I'm talking about. Verse one looks at, you know, just the idea of prejudice based on race or color or ethnic background, and how, you know, being black can really work against you sometimes. So I really like that last bit where it's like, you know, talk proper, you're all snob, talk black, then it's no job. You know, there's no winning for a lot of people who identify as being black, because, you know, you speak in a way that's different to your native language or to your native region. And a lot of people say, yo, you're trying to be fancy, you're trying to be like the white man or whatever. But then when you speak black, then you don't get job opportunities. People think that you're I don't know, you're unrefined, or I don't know how they justify that, but it's almost like no winning for a person. So you kind of get stuck in this identity crisis where you can't be your own self to your own people, you can't be a different version to other people. So you kind of like, so what am I supposed to do? So in verse two, I really wanted to look at a very controversial topic for an artist that comes out of Zimbabwe, because homosexuality is actually illegal back home. So even talking about it can get you in a lot of trouble. So obviously I exercised my freedom and ability to talk about these things being in a foreign country, because I'm less likely to get in trouble this way. But also, I think in the last couple of years, a lot of Zimbabwean media and people around have become more open to talking about sexuality and sex positivity, which is actually a field I'm very involved in. I volunteer with the Pride Parade in Calgary. I am part of the consent and sexual education clubs on campus. So for me, this is something where, as a rapper, I don't feel like it's a topic a lot of people would have expected me to speak on, especially because I'm an ally. So I've never really dealt with a lot of these issues based on sexuality. But I think because of intersectionality, I can I can relate or empathize with how people can get treated differently just because of their sexual preference. Because these are things that don't involve anybody else. Like, you know, who you sleep with doesn't affect anybody else. So the color of my skin doesn't affect anybody else, but you can still get judged based on that. And I thought it was important to speak out on that. And I don't know, it was a very important verse to write. I'm glad that it came out the way it did. I've had a lot of positive feedback on it. I'm going to bring attention to the last line, which I thought was really cool, because again, I was really trying to channel my roots and be true and pay homage to Zimbabwe. And I really like that I was able to come up with this line, you know, I'm trying to be a Lion King, but Zimbabwe. And it's super important because Simba's the title character from Lion King, but that also happens to be the word for strength in Shona. So by saying that I'm trying to be a Lion King just means, you know, I'm trying to be a leader. This is why I learn about these things. This is why I learn about racism and sexuality and sex positivity, because you can't lead without being able to empathize and be compassionate about the people you're leading. But with so much going on in the world, I'm tired. I'm exhausted from the different arguments I have to have around this. I'm exhausted. So I'm trying to be a Lion King, but Simara Pera means I'm trying to be a leader, but I'm tired. I'm exhausted. You know, Hamena Yukogo, Mamana Neta. You know what? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen over there, but I am tired. Mom, I'm tired. And it's the call back to the hook. And then that was the perfect way to end the song.